That morning in court, when the judge asked him how he pleaded, and he said guilty, I just about came out of my chair.
We grew up in Niceville, Florida, all our lives. He was a mischievous kid. He was very smart, he just didn't like school.
As he grew up, he hated school. He hated kindergarten. I took him to counselors. We went to several different counselors with him, and he asked me, why are you spending this money? You're wasting your money, it's not doing any good. He got on into middle school, and situations got worse. He went on to high school, and he started skipping school on a regular basis. And finally, when he got 16, he quit. He got into the carpet business, and he found out that was where his niche was. He was very good at that.
He worked a full-time job. He had his own business. He laid carpet, he had his own carpet business, and was the best in the area. Everybody liked his work. He got involved in the wrong crowd. He was hanging around a girl that did drugs and got him involved in doing drugs.
I've helped him at night when he was having withdrawal symptoms. I've held him right there on that floor, and he'd sleep, and then he'd wake up and he'd shake and he'd holler. And I sent his dad to bed, and I said, we'll take turns. I said, if this ain't over by daylight, you get up and I'll go to sleep. He went to cocaine first, and that got too expensive. So then he went to meth.
His wife and himself were both addicted. And that's why he started making it, to be able to afford it.
It got where he couldn't afford to buy it, and his wife was on meth, so that means there was two of them that had to have the drug. So therefore he was attempting to make it himself. We got a call one morning, and it was his neighbor, and he told us that the police were there. So Terry and I got in the car and went out there, and of course they wouldn't let us even near him.
Somebody told the cops that he was making meth in the home, and they were watching him. They were going through his garbage.
When they did come in there, there was no money. Didn't find no money, no drugs, no violence, no weapons, just all the utensils that would be necessary. He had gathered most of those. And he had a whole bunch of pseudoephedrine pills, you know, that you can't get in the drugstore now.
What they found was the amount of meth that could have been made from what they found at his house. Any of his prior arrests were for minor offenses, bag of marijuana, driving without a license, all things that conspired when he was younger. He never went to jail for any length of time. Maybe a week or two here or there, but this was his first major offense.
They kept talking about he could possibly get life, and I thought, no, you know, not for what he done. When the judge said, Mr. Minor, how do you plead? He said, guilty, and he says, due to the laws that bind me, he said, I'm sending way too many people, young men, to jail for life. He said, something's got to be done to stop this. He said, what you did does not deserve life in prison, but he said, I have no authority except to follow the system. And he said, I have to sentence you to life in prison. She was his baby girl, and her mother would go to the meth clinic. He would have to take her to work with him. And we have literally seen him lay on carpet with that child on his back.
I'm surprised, honestly, that we have stayed as close as we have. It's kind of shocking that two people could stay that close after everything and being apart most of the time. I was very mature for a 7-year-old. I knew what was, going on. I knew what was coming, so it was kind of expected, really. I kind of seen it coming.
It just tore his heart out. I mean, he said, I missed her graduation. He said, I missed her prom. He said, I have missed her whole childhood. All the things that are important in her life growing up, he said, I haven't been there for her.
I have days where, sometimes you do get a little upset that he would do something and now he can't be here. It is his fault he did do it, but it isn't his fault that he was gone this long. When I lived with my grandparents, when I was younger, we tried to go once a year, but we didn't always make it. Now that I live on my own and I'm paying my own bills and working, it's hard to get the time off. I haven't seen him in probably 2 years.
I can't imagine how he's kept such a good attitude for as long as he's been in there with no hope for so long of ever getting out. But he's used his time wisely.
He's such a changed individual. He runs 8 miles a day. He doesn't smoke. He's acquired his GED. He's acquired a whole bunch of educational courses. He knows what it's like now and knows what it means to have your freedom taken away.
Everything he liked to do was outdoors, and he loved to fish. He loved to throw his cast net, bring it home, and he'd clean it, and we'd fry it and eat it. That's what he misses, is the outdoors. He said such small things as petting a dog. He said, you don't realize, when you reach down and pet a dog, you don't realize that you're not ever going to be able to do that again.
I've got my hopes up over the years, and they've been let down. Ever since the ACLU took over this, it has given me more hope. I do have a lot more faith that he will be home.
I believe that our God is bigger than the justice system, and we have to have hope. And Ricky, I believe with all my heart he will be on the outside. My dream is for him to be here with his family before my parents leave this earth.
I didn't think he'd ever get up, but through our faith in God and the people that we have been contacted with and everything, I'm very hopeful at this point, yes.
I just know he's getting out. I am never before did I get my hopes up, and never before did I believe really he was going to go straight, and never before did I believe all this. But now I do believe